You didn't suffer for nothing, even though there were probably people who made you feel like you did. People who made you feel like you wasted your time. People who made you feel like you wasted your love. People who made you feel like you wasted your loyalty, your energy. People who made you feel like you wasted years of your life trying to help them, save them, understand them, forgive them, support them, or love them. You didn't. And if you ever look back on a relationship, a friendship, a family situation, a job, or a season of your life and thought, I gave everything. I tried everything. I stayed longer than I should have. I sacrificed more than I should have. And what did I get in return? Then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Because one of the worst feelings in the world is believing that your suffering meant nothing. Believing that all the tears meant nothing. Believing that all the effort meant nothing. Believing that all the loyalty meant nothing. Believing that all the pain was for nothing. And honestly, I think some people count on that. I think some people count on you believing that you lost. I think some people count on you believing that you wasted your life. I think some people count on you believing that because they hurt you, betrayed you, lied to you, abandoned you, rejected you, used you, manipulated you, or walked away from you, somehow that means they won. And maybe for a while you believed that too. Maybe for a while you looked at your life and thought, I lost. I wasted my life. I wasted my time. I wasted my love. I wasted my energy. I wasted years. But what if that's not what happened at all? What if the people who hurt you weren't witnessing your defeat? What if they were witnessing your development? Think about that. Because yes, they hurt you. Yes, they disappointed you. Yes, they betrayed you. Yes, they abandoned you. Yes, they made you question yourself. But did they destroy you? No, they didn't, because you're still here. And not only are you still here, you're not the same person you were before it happened. Because before some of those experiences, you didn't know your value. Because some of those experiences, you didn't have boundaries. Before some of those experiences, you didn't trust yourself. Before some of those experiences, you believed that love meant sacrifice. Before some of those experiences, you believed that loyalty meant staying no matter what. And that's the part they never expected. They never expected you to wake up. They never expected that the pain they caused would eventually teach you something. They never expected that the betrayal would create wisdom. They never expected that the rejection would create self-worth. They never expected that the abandonment would create self-trust. They never expected that the suffering would create strength. Because if we're honest, some of us became who we are because somebody underestimated us. Some of us became who we are because somebody left us. Some of us became who we are because somebody betrayed us. Some of us became who we are because life forced us to stop looking outside of ourselves and to start discovering what was inside of us. And no, that doesn't make what happened okay. But it does mean that what happened wasn't meaningless. Because think about who you were before. Think about how much you tolerated. Think about how much you accepted. Think about how much of your life depended on other people choosing you. And then think about who you became afterward. More aware, more discerning, more protective of your peace, more willing to walk away, more willing to choose yourself, more willing to trust yourself. And honestly, I think that's one of the reasons some people become uncomfortable when they see you now. Because they remember the version of you that didn't know any better. They remember the version of you that tolerated everything. They remember the version of you that kept coming back. They remember the version of you that kept giving chances. They remember the version of you that didn't know their own worth. But that's not who you are anymore, because your suffering changed you. Not because suffering was good, but because suffering forced you to ask questions you never would have asked otherwise. Who am I? What do I deserve? Why did I stay? Why did I tolerate it? Why did I abandon myself? And those questions will change your future. You see, there's a verse in the Bible that says suffering produces perseverance, character, and character hope. And whether you understand that spiritually, psychologically, or on a philosophical level, or simply through your own life experiences, the principle remains the same. Human beings become through what they survive. And honestly, that's one of the biggest reasons I do what I do. I help people reinterpret what they've been through so that they can reclaim their future. Because so many people aren't suffering from what happened anymore. They're suffering from what they believed it meant. They believe they lost. They believe they wasted their life. They believe that they failed. When sometimes what actually happened is that life was preparing them to trust themselves, preparing them to value themselves, preparing them to choose themselves, preparing them to become someone they never would have become otherwise. And honestly, that's one of the reasons I also wrote Ashes, from survival to stability. Because after surviving something painful, most people don't want to survive. They want to understand, what did this mean? What did I become? What do I do now? And maybe that's the answer. You didn't suffer for nothing. You suffered, you learned, you survived, you changed, you became. And maybe that's why the people who thought they ruined you never understood what they were actually witnessing. They thought they were watching your destruction, when in reality, they were watching your transformation. Peace, blessings, love, and power.